happy noise.
Yeah, I just made the happy noise.
He did, didn't he?
I tell you, it's my favorite. You know, and then she says, let's get a piece of that shit that I used to tie roses up with.
No, I thought that would be really clever because it's rubber, so it won't affect that. And it locks in different notches, so I thought it'd be really cool.
It may or may not be.
Okay.
But you get, I'm just having fun.
Yeah, he just makes the happy noise.
I just make the happy noise a lot.
Yes.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Happy Noise with TT and V.
With TT.
Yeah,
yes.
one of us will make the happy noise, and then
Yes.
there's the other one.
That's me. Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
Shinita, Lisa, and LaRock. Uma. That's right.
Okay.
So, we've got a great show today. We've got good questions,
Oh, good.
including a question
I'm
about
sure there's
good
one
questions.
that's fabulous.
Oh yeah, and there's and it's we're just gonna have a lot of fun today. So first, let's get the crass commercials out of the way. JoinRemarkable.com.
Yes.
Right, there are no excuses, guys, except that you love fucking slow. Right, just being blunt. Right,
Yeah, and the same and all
yeah.
that.
I just got this email from the Netflix, and the Netflix says we're raising it up more money, so it's going to be $25 a month for the Netflix.
Oh, yes.
And we also pay for that thing called the Prime
And the binge.
and the binge
The Apple.
and the Apple thing.
Or
So there's like $100 and shit like that for flexibility and fun.
Yes.
And if I had to, I'd give it all up in a heartbeat if I needed the money to actually do something that would speed my life up instead of distracting it down. So, just saying, joinremarkable.com. Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you shared a
Yes.
goodie there the other day.
I know all our colours. We're like a sparkly rainbow.
We are like a sparkly rainbow. Now, look at this.
Green, brown, purple,
I didn't
red,
plan
black.
this. I found the purple thing
Oh,
out
not
here.
black, blue. But
Right?
yes.
Have I shared the manifesting of the purple thing? Maybe I'll do that today, as one of the stories. But so invite some people to this right now, if you would, right? Because
Yes.
Facebook ain't doing it. Green and red things. Tom says Facebook doesn't give me notifications on your lunch anymore, and like Facebook doesn't do shit anymore,
Tom loves that lunch.
right? Yeah, he does. And I told him, I
He
says, look,
participates all the time.
because he works with green and red things, and I tell him I don't buy
Yes.
him much anymore. I mean, I don't eat them at all. But green and red things,
I do.
Tom. Hello.
Yes.
So, Victoria, shall we?
Yes. We shall.
All right.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
That's right.
And so we will start the show.
Oh, what is she
It's
doing now?
Your Manifesting Questions Answered live on May 24, 2024.
Yep, can you imagine all that irony?
And the first question today is from Remarkable Penny.
That is the rightness.
I'm finding it hard to sleep.
Now we're going to hear the rest of the story.
Okay.
All right.
So Penny asks, okay. First, let me say how thrilled I am with the generous feedback by members of our Remarkable group to questions myself and others ask.
Hoo-ha. By the way, it's so different than the public LOA group. Hey, I got another special person question.
Yeah.
How about me some donut? I love you
Yeah.
people. I do. But there comes a time where you graduate to something more. But I
Yeah.
digress. Ken, love you. Catch you on the refund.
So 20 keeps going. Penny keeps going. 20, you're a shit disturber.
Yeah,
With
baby.
those, let me prod you and awaken your brain to think things through with answers. My question,
Yes.
I'm finding it hard to sleep, especially after reading or listening to this work. You got any ideas?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, right? So, like, I imagine conversations with my mother-in-law, right? Because they're the ultimate, and like, right, for me, right?
All right.
So it's like, oh, 20, have you heard of, right, gone, right? It's absolutely delightful. But here's what happened to me. Right, so I have never slept well. I'm just going to be honest. I'm sleeping better than I ever have before. I used to sleep like a baby. Right, I would wake up pissing and shitting myself and screaming and crying every 2 hours. Right,
Not good.
Yeah, not good. So sleeping like a baby, not fun. Right, so it's like eating like a bird. I used to eat like a bird. My body weight every day. Right, so when we start to think through some of these things, it's a lot of fun. But so. From what I can tell, this concept known as sleep seems to be a very recent mythology. And I say that based upon reading old journals and diaries and reading about people who have read about old journals and diaries from people that just seem to indicate, at least these people that kept journals and diaries throughout history never really slept a full 8 hours. They'd be up and out and about and going back to bed and getting up and taking naps and all that stuff. And why is Emmett in the house barking?
He just does that because it's cold.
So I gave up on sleep. Right? And so I dedicated myself to rest. Right? And so when I joined the gym and the Corey story says, like, tell me about, he's asking me questions, tell me about your sleep. And I say, I dedicate 8 hours a night to being in bed with my lovely wife under the covers. Right? I don't care how much I sleep. I just let myself rest. And that thing of rest can come at any time, anywhere. So this whole thing of like, I need to get sleep. I need to get so much sleep. They say if you get so much sleep,
whatever.
Oh yeah,
I can imagine.
And that can happen even in my life here because it's like I've got a call at 3:30. We're not going to get done with lunch till 2. I'm going to get a nap. I'm not going to get any sleep. Versus what? I just get to rest. And that little positive difference of allowing yourself to rest while you may have internal frolicking going on. My best shit shows up while I'm in bed and she's doing the buzzsaw.
I never have a problem. I'm so lucky. I never have a problem with sleep. But I guess you know that. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly how much she sleeps. Right? I used to keep notes.
I love my sleep.
Right?
My bed.
So when we just sort of switch over to like, imagine feeling well rested and high energized. And then suddenly the numbers of sleep and the whole thing, like I'm laying there and I think I'm awake all night. It doesn't matter. But we'll bump into that more as we continue with the rest of the questions, too. Listen to that fun language. I mean, I just have so much fun. All right. So, Penny, this is Remarkable. Thank you. And thanks for the endorsement of Remarkable. It's a lot of fun. And for you guys who just are still resisting it in vain, seriously, join remarkable.com.
Yeah.
Right? You'll be hanging out with cool kids and have some fellowship, or you can do it all on your own.
And hello, Nancy.
Nancy's here. Yo.
Cool.
Nice to see you.
So that was from Remarkable Penny.
That is right.
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, we know who the next question's from.
That's right.
My Elena.
Now, the other girl that works at the health food club, so I remembered I asked her name today.
At the health food shop.
That's it.
Not club.
Yes. Because her name's Ramona.
Oh,
and so as soon as she said it, I went into
oh, yes. Very
and
good.
she cacked, right? So now I've got an emotional incident with her that's just like, versus like I'm trying to store data.
Yeah, because I said you were saying, the lady that used to work there that's come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Said, oh, what are you doing
when you go into data loops, it's loopy versus,
yeah.
Hi, Ramona.
Okay.
All right.
So let's start. So the next question is from Alona via email.
I may have already started. Anyway.
How to stay in state.
That's right.
Got you. And Alona asks, can you talk about how to stay in your desired state if bad, undesirable things are happening in your life?
Yeah. Here's what's cool. You're always saying no or something else, right? So, dwelling place. I'm trying to concentrate, Victoria.
That happens a lot. Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to concentrate, Victoria.
Stop asking me questions.
I'm trying to concentrate, Victoria. Like you put her in a pot and boil her down a little bit.
Right. Reduce me to my essence.
Reduce her to her essence. Right. We call that a reduction.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I just like to reduce Victoria. Right. This is why people get married, by the way, to reduce each other. Right. Yeah. But anyway, so how to stay in state? I don't bother. Right. Happy, loving husband comes back home.
He always comes back home.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, you don't bother trying to stay. Just notice I'm no longer in state.
Yeah, I don't try to stay at home with her. God, I just got to stay here with her. I'm married to her and I'm happy. Right? And Fighting Fit Fleshitarian has me leave. Bye. right?
He does.
Out he goes, going to the gym,
See
having
ya!
some fun, right? And then I come back, and happy loving husband brings me back home.
Yeah, right.
And happy loving husband talks about fighting fit fleshitarian, because happy loving wife asks questions about him. Right? So we have some fun here, having multiple states to keep coming home to, and realizing it's all about returning to your dwelling places. On our property, we've got the main house, we've got the cottage, right, the original cottage, and we've got the recent addition of the she shed. Every now and then I venture into it. Right?
It's like,
it's
don't
like,
you know yet, after 5 years?
no, every now and then
screwdrivers live over there.
Yeah, I venture into it. But it's like, for me, a woman's purse is sacred territory. And I say, I'll just get that out of my purse.
So, Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. So like I carry the purse over and hold it out. I won't dare
Space
put
is
a
in the
hand in
shed.
there, right? And it's the same with the shed.
Yeah.
Right? So we literally have 3 little dwelling places on the property. And for some reason, in manifesting to the max.com, I talk about 3 dwelling places, otherwise known as 3 primary states. And we get to return to them. And somebody says, well, Neville didn't say primary positions or she shed or anything. And it's like, yeah, Neville didn't say pizza.
Yes.
I had this interesting talk with someone the other day. Neville didn't say pizza, but you can still fucking manifest one. Right? He didn't say fuck either, from what I can tell, at least not publicly, but he did swear on the stage. But that's another story.
Yeah, actually, that's quite a good distinction there, because instead of dwelling place, like Neville always said, of course, return to your dwelling place of what you choose. But I'm sure either way, he wouldn't have denied. But obviously, there are multiple dwelling places, but you can choose all of them.
Yeah.
And move through them.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay in my state of the wish fulfilled, though, to make this big wish happen, like becoming a citizen of Australia. I'm trying to stay in that state so I can.
Yeah, but that really impacts every single state. So you don't have to stay here as citizen of Victoria, a citizen of Australia, because it's like the state of happy loving husband, the state of happy loving puppy dog owner, the state of all of those encompass, have a part of happy loving Australian citizen. Do you know what I mean? So it's like where that Venn diagram that you've
they've got some
shown,
overlaps.
They do overlap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you've left state. It might, but you can choose all these other states that you move through that overlap each other.
And so how many sections to the garden are there?
Loads.
Loads. Great answer, right? Because there's more than 2.
Yes,
right?
There are.
So it's like I tell her I love you only 2 times a day. I'm only honest with you 2 times a day, Victoria. Yeah, that's daytime and nighttime.
Yes.
Right? Done. Right? But when you have one big ass state, everything goes to war against it.
It's like special person then. It becomes special
It becomes a special person.
Yeah,
Exactly. On the other hand,
yes.
I moved into the state of Australian. Did I leave it once or twice, or probably 10 times or more over the 4 years it took? Sure. But meanwhile, I gave life to thousands of wishes and wins and a few other primary states, so that I actually didn't have time to notice what's going to take me out of state. And this is a biggie right here. When you have time to notice what will drag you out of state, you notice it. We've got these things called politicians in Australia. Poly as in many, ticks as in bloodsuckers. And all the time, they're relaxing a law or making it tighter or making it easier or harder for somebody to come to Australia. Like, you can come here if you're a refugee and a criminal, but if you're not, then you got a tough time coming in. And they do all this crap. And it's like, I don't think that ever bothered me because I was busy. So when we're talking about staying in chosen state, my guess is you probably got 1 or 2. I suggest you have 3 primaries that share one core quality, like we explore in manifesting to the max.com. Whoever doesn't have that, get that. It's good. Love you, Mike.
Yeah.
And it just, allow yourself to give life to a lot of yummies. So let's continue from there. Lona, this is fantastic. Let me know. And Two-time
Tommy.
Tommy.
Cool.
I tell you what, Tommy deserves this. That'll bring back a memory, won't it?
Clicker. I know.
Shall we continue?
Yes, thank you very much for your question, Alona. The next question's from Dream-Driven Day Shinita. I get heart palpitations. And Shinita asks, I was told I'm mildly anemic and I get heart palpitations from time to time. How or what can I manifest for health?
You know, I married Victoria, right? So we had this... First we had a discussion, and then we had an agreement, and then we went through all the shit, and she didn't spend the extra $20.
With
right?
what?
Oh, to get your divorce certificate from the UK, right? The last day that before I had to leave the country, right? It shows up, and I'm telling her, spend the $20 next time. Not for a divorce certificate, but for anything, right? But I don't know. It'll get here in time. What are you going to spend the $20 on, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so we married each other to put each other down and make each other wrong. No, sorry.
Right, yes.
It goes back to the oath, doesn't it, Mike? And Beth, she is not like the rest, right? In sickness and in health. Now, I'm not a fan of the usual opposites. I find the usual opposites to be quite depressing. She's healthy today. Yeah, we all know what that means. Compared to 5 years ago.
Wow.
Right? And this is how the part of you works. On the other hand, I married her to have fun. Sorry. I mean, like, it's just one of them there things. I thought she'd be fun to spend a lifetime with. Right? I love her. She's fun. Right? We bring out good shit from each other. Right? Yeah. So this whole thing of sickness and in health for marriage, it's just like, how can I manifest for health? My suggestion is manifest for fun. I'm working on something really important right now. Now, I haven't used a walking stick since January 1st. 2 years ago, every step was excruciating pain, and it slowly diminished because I had a hip problem because of doing dumb shit and having the world's longest lockdown, right where I happen to live, which gave heaps to me, right, and helped me explore life as a cripple. Right, and I will use that word because that's what the doctor used when he said I had scoliosis as a teenager. He said, you'll be crippled in your 20s. Well, it actually showed up in my 50s, but I seem to digress. Because now I don't need a walking stick. I have variable speeds, all kind of gaits, and I'm working on something really cool.
He's doing the shuffle dance.
Well, that's thinking two products out, right?
Yes.
The moonwalk.
Oh, yes.
Right? It's impossible to do the moonwalk with a screwed up hip.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm barely pulling it off right now. In other words, I'm actually having people say that actually looks like a moonwalk. Right? Cool. Before it was just like, it just like looks like you're falling down.
And you say to me,
right?
What do you reckon, Victoria? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let me get you a glove. Right?
A white glove.
Yeah,
yes.
like the rhythm. So I want you to imagine up something that thrills you.
Yes.
Right? Because here's my long-term manifesting experience for rebuilding my hip, which I am successfully doing. They say it's impossible. I say watch me. I've been doing this for a long time, right? Doing all kind of watch me's. Scoliosis, PTSD, moving here, this. You're having fun with Victoria?
Yes.
But ready? Watch me. I've imagined frolicking in the meadow. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And that is doing all kind of things. So you get to imagine up fun. How would you be having fun if this whole thing, Mike Brignack's having fun?
Yes, he is.
Right. When fun no longer becomes a negotiable, but it's how much fun can you stand? All right, Shinita. Cool. Excellent. So, Yasmin says there's another state. Watch me. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. How many times have you seen that come out of me?
Yeah,
Watch
I love that.
me.
Watch me. Yeah.
So, hey, by the way, here's another one, right?
And also, I mean, it keeps coming back. So, if you're told you're mildly anemic, it's like, so.
Yeah. You know what they've told me over the years? They've told me all kind of shit over the years.
Yeah.
I just go, yeah, right. Okay.
Sorry, go on with your next.
What was my next?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, who
shouldn't
knows?
have interrupted.
Oh, yeah, feel bad about it.
I do.
Just double that feeling and put it in the pit of your stomach and let it eat away at your health. We'll see how much fun our relationship becomes, won't we?
All right, sorry.
Yeah, that was really the best thing I could say. Right? Anyway, let's see what shows back up.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Fun, all that
Excellent,
bullshit.
Shinita. So glad you're here. Good
By the
on
way,
you.
so yeah, I'm a lifelong martial artist. And when I couldn't move, I became a one-punch, one-kill kind of guy. Right? Because I couldn't move. Right? All I could do was stand there. And so I got really good at controlling timing, distance, and making people cough up organs. Right? So that was my practice for about 2-3 years. Right?
Up organs.
Yeah, you punch something, ooh, right? Yeah, up it comes, right? Here comes your liver.
Gross.
Well, that's just one of them things.
Okay.
Someone will be offended because of that. That's great. My real love of martial arts involves movement and expressing power in weird and unique ways. Right? And so that's what's returned to my life, all kind of ways of using like movement that are just glorious and good fun and stretch the fascia and releasing power in weird ways. Like I'll have both hands on the heavy bag and suddenly like I'll be blasting it 2-3 times in a second. Perry Culver, love you. And then it's, and the whole framework shakes and people just go, ugh. So, this ought to be good. Let's run with this one.
What is it?
Anthony says, why does Neville... Oh, fuck. Everybody stop talking for a second. Why does Neville say you mustn't lift one finger to make it so, but I've heard you say you should take action, like put the soda down? I have no idea what that means. But I'll answer this. Ready? When you read the actual quote, Neville says you can do nothing to make it happen. Right? It doesn't say you'll do nothing. Right? And it's sort of like this. The real cause is your imaginal act. Okay? It's like saying, so this is what people do. When they make it about the doing, it's like blaming the car for the road trip. Or blaming the petrol that you put in the car for the road trip. Neville doesn't say do nothing. When you read that message in its totality over several lectures, what you'll notice he says you can do nothing to make it happen.
Yes.
And so Neville imagined teaching. So he got on the stage and he wrote books. He didn't do nothing. He imagined He imagined living in America, and he got on a boat.
Yes.
And this is so important because so many people get stuck in the dogma of, well, do nothing, right? Do nothing. Neville says do nothing. That tends to be the symptomatic thing of I'm going to hide under my bed and let everyone else play their parts. Versus Victoria is a gardener. She's imagined up a beautiful garden, and she and other people play their parts in our garden.
Yeah.
And your life is a garden. So this is a fabulous question because it dispels the myth of, well, Neville says do nothing at all. It's like, well, if it was actually about do nothing at all, yeah, like Mike says, dogma or conversation, exactly. Well, then you wouldn't even have to imagine, would you? And then shit just crashes. So when you imagine... There's a really great article on freeneville.com. It's Do Something, Do Nothing. And Neville says free will ends. He doesn't say you don't have it, doesn't say Jay doesn't have it or Mike doesn't have it. Neville says free will ends. You can select basically any state, and you can reject any state. And then that state, all that you do and all that befalls you. And there's the beauty of it all. Neville selected a state. He rejected another state, and he got on the stage hundreds of times. Wrote 12 books, and who knows what else. And that's what we're doing. So when the dogma has you never do... Oh, Alex, I love you. Right, there's Alex putting up the link.
Cool, Alex.
Ready? So I didn't make Alex do it. I just imagined somebody... I imagine people finding it if they need it, and Alex plays his part, just like I'm playing my part. And there's the biggie. You get to play, what does Neville say? God plays all the parts. Cool. And Anthony, thank you so much. This is good.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't let it go. Normally I just say, fuck it, and let the questions go. But when I saw what you wrote at the beginning, I thought, oh, I got to grab this, buddy. So thank you. I really appreciate that in you. And I really love the outfit you're wearing. That's awesome.
Cool.
I love when I say that and people say, could you really see me? Yeah. Just having fun.
Can't see ya.
All right. Shall we continue?
Yeah, so that was for Shinita. Thank you very much for your question.
And then for
Shinita.
Anthony.
And then it was for Anthony. So
Yes.
am I making that 2 questions? I probably am. Then.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Why does he say things like that to her? I don't know.
Right.
Emmett, what do you want?
The next question is from Carl via email. Help with questions.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? This is. Excuse me. I love you. Oh,
Let me get your
you're
booger.
my best friend.
Did
You're
you
my
get
best.
his booger?
Booger.
No, you don't. I'm joking. So Carl asks, since my questions suck, what's a good question to ask?
All right. Now, this is great.
Fascinating.
Right. So Carl sends me a lot of questions, and they just suck the life out of the room. Right.
Right.
And so I want him to help get this because his questions aren't helping his quest. Right. So when we so we're all questing. Right. How safe is your questing? How repetitive is your questing? Or does your questing, it's like the Lord of La Mancha. Right?
Lord of La Mancha.
Yeah, he gets on his gallant steed. I am Don Quixote. And he goes away. He does his thing, and he comes back transformed. Right?
Yes.
Dulcinea, and so on. Right? So, a good question, in my experience, is a question that directly contributes to your quest. A shit question is something like, on day 20 of Dream Driven Day, contrasting that with lesson 17 of manifestingmasterycourse.com, and when I'm looking at books that you say that you read back in the 54th episode of the podcast, how do those all correlate together when it comes to me manifesting my special person? And I just lose my mind. Basically, like, cool, what do you want? What's your desire here? Yeah, and a question that leads to an experience, a question that expands who you are. So, this is what we get to explore. And you'll notice I love the questions here. There's a kind of question I never answer. And it's like, hypothetically, 20, if I had a friend who had a desire about another friend, what would you suggest that I tell them to do when it comes from the book Feeling is the Secret? And it's like, radio. So, do you got a real friend that's asking this? Right? Is this a real desire? Because I'm a real person, and so are you, and I can't answer hypotheticals. But I would love to address the question in the questioner, because that way we can both contribute to our quests.
I love your question that you've said so many times where,
What is that?
I don't know, someone will say something, but it's like, okay, Emma, go.
Go get it!
Right. You'll say, how do you do that? And it just really gets the questioner thinking about, actually, how do I do that? And like thinking about how they are rather than being given an answer. I love that.
Cool. So,
yes.
So I have to do some mind reading every day. So how do I keep myself up at night and not like it? Right? So if I keep myself up and not like it, well, then I'm got to be concerned about how many hours of sleep am I getting and the importance of what I have to do tomorrow. Right? I mean, I can't sleep in like Victoria. Right? You get it? Yeah. And then there's this, and then all this shit shows up because it's an inner shit show. And so when we're exploring the potential of the quest and the questioner, what's the quest? Well, to just enjoy myself in bed with Victoria, right? And it's like, radio. It's not about the number or how often or how long. It's about the actual quest. And when we start exploring in that direction, more ways to enjoy more show up. So, what was the question that you said that you liked that I use?
Oh, well, it's like...
Yeah, how do I do that? How do you do that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Because it's like... you're asking that, like, to think...
Yeah.
It's not just why I do that, but how do I do it?
How do you make not sleeping a shitty experience?
Yeah.
would be if Penny and I were having a chat, and that was what she actually said. Cool. So this is really good. Like Mr. 20, nothing's happening. I keep doing everything, but nothing's happening. Well, how do you notice that? Oh, well, because and suddenly it's like, well, actually, like there are these voices in my head. Is it your voice or your mother's? Teach me how to do that, because I currently don't do that. And if we can help them notice it, make it your dad. Fuck it, right? Make it Mickey Mouse, right? Make your dad Mickey Mouse. If your dad was Mickey Mouse and your mom was Goofy, anyway, and suddenly they're just like, they're too confused to feel bad, and we give them something else to do. So.
Okay.
You notice how I do that?
I do.
Yes. All right.
So that was for Carl. Thanks very much for your question, Carl. The next question is from K, a capital K, in the LOA group. The circumstance is back.
Once I took a question from them from the LOA group, and I used it on a show without permission. Good Lord. Right?
Did you get sued?
No, I got scolded. And it's like, yeah, and I realized something. I said, all right. In my efforts to help, I have to consider things a little differently. In my efforts to make change in my life, differently. But I digress. Go ahead.
And Kay asks, a couple of weeks ago, I reversed a circumstance and everything was going well.
All right.
Now, for some reason, that circumstance is back.
It's back like a Monday.
I'm worried, but at the same time, methods such as revising feels like it's too fake. I feel mentally tired. So I'm choosing to have faith and assume that what I'm currently worrying about won't happen.
All right, so we did a really cool call that you probably won't buy. That's fine, right? Or maybe you will, right? Because so it was called Rapid Revision Secrets. So we got that little $7 revision pack. That's real cool. But in Rapid Revision Secrets, the reason I suggest that is because I love making money, right? And people get upset that I love making money. Meanwhile, they want to make money doing what they love. And they don't like that I make money doing what I love.
Yes. Which
is just weird. And so it's like, right. But I seem to digress. So let's go through this. A couple weeks ago, I reversed the circumstance and everything was going well. For some reason, now that circumstance is back. I revise me. Period. My reaction, my experience, in one way or another, I always explore revising me, because revising changes me. Right? And when I change, everything changes.
Yes, because it's your reaction.
Seed time.
Your reaction is actually what you're revising, which
yes.
is you.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Right? So get how cool this is? Alex, thank you. So, I'm worried, but at the same time, methods, something out there, such as revising, feels like it's too fake.
Yeah.
Right? So listen to this. Okay? I'm going to approach it a little bit differently. I revised something out there, circumstances, and everything out there was going well. For some reason, the circumstance out there is back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Wow, this gets really cool. I'm worried, but at the same time, methods out there, such as revising out there, feels too fake. Of course, it's out there. But when you explore it the way we explore it, and we explored it on that live call. In other words, there are instances on the live calls, on every single one we do, or one way or another, I'm getting someone to reveal, how do you do that? When they go, this is stuck, it feels fake. How do you do that? How do you revise? What's that? Whenever you do that, what happens? Whoa, never did it that way. Yep, they totally reformat their everything, right? I feel mentally tired. That's because you're doing a mental activity.
Well, yeah.
Right? When you do mental activities, you get mentally tired. When I was working with the Forex traders a long, long time ago, one of the first things that I told you guys, even before I was really trading, was you can't trade when you are emotionally exhausted. In other words, there's this thing called decision fatigue. And I said, you have to stop, right? If you're mentally tired, you're doing something that's mental and emotional. You're not feeling it real. You're not changing you. So you're not doing revision, at least how we teach it and how I suspect Neville taught it. But anyway, so I'm choosing to have faith and assume what I'm currently worrying about, feeling real, won't happen. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. I commend you on choosing to have faith and assume what you're currently worrying about won't happen, while it wrecks your body, while it invades your mind. While it's like, if I've got something on my mind, let's play a game called honesty. If something is on my mind and you want to talk to me about something that's not on my mind, what happens? Do we have a pleasant morning? No.
It's like, Victoria!
Right. And she starts going, I can't wait till he feels like a fighting fleshitarian and leaves.
Goes to the pool.
Yeah, go away. Right. So this is the fun thing. There are secondary consequences to all you do. Right? And a secondary consequence to actually doing the methods right, quote unquote, I'm a better human being around her in the moment. So if I'm worrying about something and denying that the worrying will happen, and Victoria's going, hey, look at Emmett. Why? I've looked at him for 9 years. Right? Kiss me. I've done that before too. I'm busy worrying. Right?
Yeah.
So this is where we get to play. So, how was that, Victoria?
Yeah, very cool.
And we did a really cool podcast. Forever and ever, amen. Worth looking up.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Let us continue like a cucumber.
So that was for Kay in the LOA group.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your question.
Yes. You know, we've got this opportunistic lettuce off to my right.
I know.
And we had lettuce way back. Greek Peter. He's older than dirt.
Yeah.
I love
Greek
him. Yeah,
Peter.
Greek Peter, older than
Yes.
dirt. And he tells me, 20, I have these things. And he gives us things from his garden because I want you to have it. You and your wife, who I've never met, will appreciate it.
That was nearly a year ago.
And so he gives us these
9 months
lettuces,
ago, yes.
right? And they're way back at the other end of the property. And this opportunistic lettuce, the seeds have apparently blown and they're growing right over
we're
here.
Getting them all our
right?
in all our flower beds, well as the veggie patch.
So
yes.
one of the keys when it comes to revision is letting us. Experiencing something different. Because it's an opportunity. Because we didn't plant the lettuce there. It just sort of happened. And whenever you're actually revising you and playing the way that I suggest and invite, you'll suddenly notice you let yourself imagine something differently is real. And the old thing won't bother you anymore. So you're not forcing something to feel real. That will actually cause everything to feel fake. You let us continue.
Well,
I thought that was so clever.
Very clever.
Richard would be proud of me. Just leaving it in or weaving it in.
Okay.
Anyway. Love you, Mike. Got to go. Hey, Mike and I did a really great convo. Right?
Oh, you need to hear the last question, Mike. Because it's from our very favourite Lisa and LaRock.
Yeah, come back when you can.
Yeah,
Love you, Mike.
Listen to the last.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Yeah. And so the very last question is from Remarkable Lisa and LaRock. Kingdom or cortisol camp?
That is the rightness.
And Lisa asks, hello, 20 in Victoria. As a form of encouragement, someone I respect once told me, Lisa, you are a survivor.
That is the rightness.
I immediately replied, I take no pride in being a survivor. I noticed manifestos who seem to spring themselves out. Did I read something wrong?
No, actually, I left that exactly as she typed it because it gave me a cue. But I believe you meant manifestors.
Oh, I noticed manifestors who seem to spring themselves out. 1, cortisol camp. 2, in no time, needing to manifest the keys to their next rescue.
Yes.
How do we exit prison life and enter the kingdom of peace, where there are green pastures and still water, where we go from glory to glory?
Cool. Keep this handy.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Ready? I am a long-term martial artist, and I can take a punch. All right, we trained to do that way early on. And then it hit me, literally. Training to take a punch is a little useful for a little amount of time. Because I know if someone hits me, something's going to happen, right? So I'm not afraid of being hit. I've been hit, right? On the other hand, training to continue to take punches, standing there and taking it on the chin is dumb, right? So I was just chatting with a guy the other day at the gym, and he's a boxer. And he bobs and weaves and does his thing, and he can stand there and take a punch and cover up. And I showed him how I trained and how I was trained to slip something so close that it just touches my whiskers. Because I want to feel their hand just touch my whiskers. So they're getting feedback that says I'm making contact, right? And I'm going, mine. Right? So I don't want to absorb energy from a bad guy. So one of the things that I told Julian was this. I says, I treat every punch as though it's a knife. And if I try to keep it away, I'm just going to lose my hands. If I let it actually make contact with me, I'm losing flesh. I don't want to lose my hands, trying to block it. I don't want to lose my flesh. I've become quite attached to it. I like eating flesh, not losing it. And so you're a survivor. I've heard this, right? And it's like, I'm like you, I take no pride in being a survivor. Because I just did a podcast on this, or part of the book, I forget which. Neither one of them's up yet. But I talked about, we've got strategies and states that are devoted to survival, thrival, and something else. Survival has one set of strategies, staying alive. Thrival, something else. So you got some extra for yummy. Ooh, we're thriving. There's something above that, and I don't have a word for it yet, right? But there's the experience. But so the strategies, systems, imaginal acts, states with each level are different. They're different in nature. Okay, I'm imagining up just having paid the electric bill. Again.
Yeah.
I'm imagining up the money to pay the electric bill, even worse. Versus like imagining up the electric bill ain't no big deal. They just raised ours $200. You know how upset I got about it? I immediately told her, Victoria, scrap everything, spend the next 8 hours finding another electric company.
Keep the lights off.
Yeah,
no.
Turn off all the lights, go sit in the car and power the laptop with your car while we figure out a new electric company. Right? That's all bullshit. Like, right, I'll imagine more impact and create more incomes. No biggie, right? So we've got survival, we've got thrival, and we've got some other thing that I just don't know the word for. So how do we exit prison life? This whole ex-hostage project that originally started out with being a book, now it's turned into a project that will include a series of books, explores a lot of my inner experience with this stuff, because we imprison ourselves constantly because it feels safe to be in your cell. Having worked in a prison, right, I can tell you the safest place is in your own damn cell. And we opt for it. As human beings, we get jobs. We pick the safe and predictable all the time. So how do we exit prison life? Every day we eat about the same time. Have we ever had the same meal twice? I think it would be a challenge to say that we have. We've had similar meals, a lot of wildly different meals.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I notice is survival seems to occur with imagining safety by imagining the same. Every day I make $1,000 or whatever.
It's a bit like, I can imagine that. Like, well, I'll rattle that up again because I know how to put out fires.
I know how to put that fire out.
Do that.
Brilliantly put. I would have never gone there.
But I don't know how to actually enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Love everything, like, without that being a part of my life, which is ridiculous. Yeah. I'm just thinking about how I used to be, and like, if someone when I was 20 said you were a survivor, I'd feel, I'm a survivor.
Yeah, baby, that's right.
It's like, then suddenly it's like, I don't want to just survive anymore.
I don't want to survive.
Yeah.
I want to soar.
Yeah.
And so when we start, and I'll use this as the biggest crass commercial ever for Join Remarkable. Anyone who's still here's why I won't join Remarkable 20. Yeah, I'm struggling to survive now. $100 a month would bankrupt me. Really? Radio. Right? I'd feel awkward. I don't know what to say. I'm already behind. All these things which we use as excuses to imprison ourselves. Versus radio. Put some different skin in some different game. So. So we can imagine a content to survive. I'm imagining money to pay the electric bill. I can imagine, pay the electric bill. Or I can imagine the electric bill is no big deal. It's all the same sort of content, but we're changing contexts. Go! Quick! Off he goes, right? We can also explore different process. And that's so far beyond the scope of the show. Let's just listen to the dog and the siren.
Oh, Bruce, I love you, Bruce. Oh, he howls.
Arrrr.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got to do something, or something big's going to happen. That's an inner process. I've got to do something, or something big's going to happen. Right? Here's another one. If I don't do something, it won't get done. And then shit will pile up. There are these little stories that we settle for and settle into. So I can feel predictable about doing things, because it ain't going to get fucking done if I don't do it. Or doing things that I don't want to do, so something big doesn't happen. In other words, these are proofs that we exist. If we still are seeking proofs that we exist, hey, of course I exist. That's my jail cell. On the other hand, you get to discover, what are you giving life to in the moment? And you get to have novelty show up. In a typical show, in a typical live call, and especially in the postings in a place like joinremarkable.com, how much uniqueness shows up. Versus, how do you manifest a special person? You imagine what implies the wish is fulfilled, and then you just, it's all predictable bullshit. That is somewhat useful. But it's sort of like saying, if you don't eat, you will starve. On the other hand, I'd rather explore eating food that is so yummy and satiating, not just with nutrition, but with the communal experience of eating with my wife.
And dogs.
That's a diet. And the puppy dog.
Yeah.
And the other puppy dog. I think I'm done.
Cool.
Got anything, Victoria?
No, I gave my bit.
You can go from glory to glory or story to story.
Yes.
Right? That last little line there, I'll run with that before we close
I
it.
love that.
So, story to story. Oh, I got a story. I don't have enough
guess
money.
What happened to me?
All right.
Blah,
Well,
blah, blah, blah,
sell something once a month. Cut somebody's grass. Right? Okay. Well, I don't have time. Okay. Well, you got 15 minutes a day. Manifestingmasterycourse.com. All right. Okay. So I don't have money. Don't have time. I don't know if I can do it. All right. I'm hard of hearing. Well, we've had deaf people do it. Anyway. Hey, Kim's here. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Kim. Oh, cool. You just missed him. This lovely man left a few minutes ago, Kim.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely adorable. I just love him. His name is Mike. He's got the same last name as you. And he just left about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So if you know him, right, when you see him, give him our love.
A hug.
That too. All right, Victoria, let's do it.
Okay, so, yes, what we want to know is tell us what was your, once I get this right.
Fantastic, elastic, bombastic.
Right way. Your hashtag strawberry bits.
Strawberry bit.
And mine was actually remembering how I used to be like that. And I reckon that's why also I loved forensic accounting.
I tell you what.
Disaster to the next.
I tell you what. When you meet a woman and you find her pretty, I mean, she's hot and interesting, and it's like, so tell me about you. I'm like, what you used to do that you don't do anymore? I used to do forensic accounting.
I know.
And there's a part of me that goes, love her.
It's the furthest thing from me now. Although It's probably not the first, because I do like puzzles, and I think that's what drew me into it.
Yeah, forensic
but it's
accounting.
just like that, like you're a survivor, all of that sort of attitude. Yeah, I'm a survivor. That's what they think about me, all puffed up, and it's just like,
That's right.
do you realise actually?
Yeah.
Drop it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really love that question, and realising where I've come from and how, yeah, I felt proud to be a survivor.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Whereas now I'll just be proud to be, I don't know, garden girl.
That's right.
But yeah, so yeah, thank you for that, Lisa. Yes. What about you, babe?
You know, Houdini was not a good musician. He wasn't. I don't think he was a musician either, but he really wasn't that good of a magician.
Yes.
Houdini was good at surviving stupid shit. Right? Just to be blunt, not saying he didn't do a bad job. He was fabulous at self-promotion and surviving stupid shit. Until one day, somebody landed a punch on him, because Houdini would do like 3 million sit-ups a day or something like that. And I first learned this when I was 12. I thought I could be like Houdini. Right? Even, I've got a funny prison riot story to talk about that sometime. But I can be like Houdini. And so I'm doing all these sit-ups so I can learn to take punches and all this bullshit. And then one day I woke up and I'm reading about Houdini, and Houdini died when somebody punched him and he wasn't prepped for it.
Yes.
So internal organ ruptures, and see you later, Houdini. Right? So when we deny the magic that we are, we settle for survival. And sure, survival can get a lot of kudos. Look at him go.
I like that.
How's he going to get himself out of the box?
Magic that we are.
Yes. We settle for survival.
We settle for survival.
Hoo-ha. Remind me to make an infographic on that later. Right. So, how cool is that? And we began Remarkable this year. And you guys that join now, you still get all the other goodies too. Exploring astonishment.
Yes.
Because, you know, in my world, when Victoria asks how was the pool, I tell her about some of the mundane stuff. But even when I went shopping today, I had an astonishing time. I saw swim friend Rob. Never saw swim friend Rob on the streets before. It's like when you see him pretty much naked, he looks one way. When you see him on the streets, he looks another. Right? Same here. 20, is that you? You betcha, swim friend Rob. But these astonishing conversations and coincidences and stuff. Swim friend Rob, quick story, right? He was the sole distributor and trainer for Nautilus.
Yes, that's right.
Back in the old days, right? And boy, he's got a treasure trove of info, right? And he delights in sharing it, and I delight in sharing things. So me and Rob, swim friend Rob, have a magical thing going on. And of course, I come home and I tell Victoria, and she goes, "Oh, Rob, well, which Rob is it? Is it old friend Rob, new friend Rob?"
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, it's swim friend Rob. Swim for friend Rob.
I know, there's so many Robs.
But I have such an astonishing time that you ask me and I tell you and we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, or I could just say, "Oh, I saw them. They complained about that."
Yeah.
That's not a remarkable life. But I love you, Victoria. I couldn't do this show without her and without you.
Yeah.
And I just want to just give some awesome credit, because you all that ask questions and show up, that means the world to us.
Yeah.
And you.
And then.
And them.
Okay.
Have a lovely day, gang.
Thank you, babe. Okay, you guys, we're going to get going now.
Today's the big day at the GYM. That's right.
Have
You
a
know,
great weekend.
who knows what gymnasium means? Look it up.
I do.
What's it mean, Victoria?
Something about being naked.
Yeah, it's the naked place.
The naked place,
back in-
apparently.
that's what the word originally means, according to Bill Bryson.
Naked place.
That's right.
Bill Bryson, and he'll know.
So Bill Bryson knows everything. See ya.
See ya.